Hey guys, just want to do a quick video on a mobile fishing rig that I have put together that I feel that works out best for me. Maybe you can take something away from this video. Hopefully it helps you guys out, or at least one person. So anyways, let's get into the video. So one of the first things I want to show you guys is this Igloo cooler. It's light, it has wheels, and has a handle that you can telescope out or put back down. Let's move some of this equipment so you can take a look. So here's the Igloo cooler that I use. It has pockets in the front, just Velcro. Has the zipper, and it's a decent size front pouch, whatever you want to store in there. This can be taken off if you want to. It has a zipper on top, and this is where I store like towels and sometimes my dog's leash if he's fishing with me. So this top, you can see I'm got my towel in it. Here's the top. You can see it has a pouch. You can store whatever, your fishing license or wallet or whatever you want to put in there. And it's plastic, hard plastic, so it's easy to clean. You can see how dirty it is. I do keep it dirty with all the mud, water. So this, it gets rusted a little bit from all the water that gets thrown around in it. It's really light. So I normally take this. I can fit catfish if I'm taking it home, just a couple of them, some bass in here, crappie. So I tend to put like my snacks in my backpack if this is filled with fish and ice. I try not to keep anything like my water in here because it has that fishy taste after a while. This is strictly for fishing. So that's that. Let's move on to the backpack. So this is a spider wire. I've had this thing for years, many years. Absolutely love this backpack. When it rips on me, I'm gonna buy the exact same one. It has two fishing rod holders with clips to hold it in place. So let's go ahead and take some of those off. It slides right out. And it fits perfect on this cooler, which is why I like this cooler as well. Let's take a deeper look into this. All right, let's go ahead and take a look inside the backpack. So the first pouch has a big compartment where I keep my fillet knife, some spray for the mosquitoes because I do a lot of night fishing, some glow sticks for the fishing rod tips, a poncho because you never know when it's gonna rain, even though you look at the forecast. These are just good to have. They're 99 cents, so it's good to have. Throw it in there. And my ski mask, I picked this up, I forgot where, like the Walmart for a couple bucks or something. It's good to have. Sometimes it gets colder at night. If I'm fishing in the evening and roll into nighttime, it's good to have. So just thought I'd throw it in there and leave it in there. So the second pouch, it's not as big, but this is where I store all the other stuff. Some extra line, my bells, some power bait, some thread that I use. I can show y'all later how I use that. But this one, it has pouches in the back. Oh, you see I have trash in here. Need to clean it out. I guess now's a good time to clean it. But it has different compartments in here. Some more bells. I use them for night fishing. Has a zipper in here. You know, you can see how that works. Pretty basic, but you can fill it how you want. You can see this thing is wore out. It's discolored. It's gone through hell and back. I have some band-aids in this smaller pouch. You can see this one's not too big, but I have my little utility knife. So that stays in there. Band-aids, you never know when you're going to use them, especially when you take the kids fishing. You'd be surprised how often I use those things. Next you have your, let's lift it up a little bit. Next you have your sunglass holder, for your case for your sunglasses, and it's lined with the soft microfiber of some sort, so it doesn't scratch your glasses out. I don't use them. They're always normally on my face or on top of the brim of my hat. Then you have all these I forgot what you call them, but you can hang attachments onto, and another side pocket, which you see I have a whole bunch of crappie lures. So and then on the other side, exact same thing. So here's where your fishing rods get held from. This has a wide opening at the bottom. It has a clip that's adjustable, so it can fit around whatever you need it to. And then has a third one on top. So essentially it's held pretty well. I can fit honestly up to 2 fishing rods in here if I take my smaller rods. So sometimes I can have up to 4 fishing rods on this backpack. Now you want to be careful on how you install them and take them out, making sure that you don't poke yourself with the hooks if you leave the hooks on. I do, so that's why I'm saying I have friends that take their hooks off all the time when they're packing up, so just keep that in mind. I like to keep mine set and ready to go. That way when I see a spot, I'm out there just ready. So that's those. Now here's the main compartment with all your weights, baits. You open that up, it can probably hold 4. There's another one that can fit here. I only put 3 because that's all I really need, and I'll show you my basic tackle box setup. Okay, so here's my setup. So this one is mainly made up of weights, hooks, and swivels. You see I have catfish for the stink bait, and then sometimes I get lazy and this one's not supposed to be in here, it's supposed to be in my other box. I have weights, and I kind of just fit them where I can. For the most part they stay in place. If you're rough with it like I am, they tend to move if you're moving things around really quickly. I kind of sort them out. I have circle hooks, some J hooks, and I mean I'm pretty sure you guys are better organized than I am. But this is how I have mine set up. Mainly swivels, hooks, and weights. Now, when I'm bass fishing, or crappie fishing, well, mainly bass fishing, my crappie rigs are on the side pockets. And, you know, I have some bait in here. Well, you can see, like, this one has leftover lake debris. I got some of my worms in here. Again, this one, I think it's supposed to be in the other one, but it fits here, so I'm gonna leave it there for now. But you can see this is just plastics. And then this one would be like different types of, yeah, this is where that one belongs. You can see some overflow plastics, some crankbaits. You can see it's not a good way to store these. You have to take your time to unhook them. I know there's a better way, but that's kind of what I do. Got some frogs in here. So that's my basic setup. It's probably not the best setup that you can have, but it works for me. Mostly I'm catfishing, so if I take another tackle box or another fishing rod, I use one of these tackle boxes. I like to keep this all together because I never know what I'm gonna do. When I get out there, I might change my mind all of a sudden. So that's my basic setup. I think it works great for me. Again, you choose your own setup, but this is what it fits. So I believe it fits 4 of these, and you can see they're different sizes. So let's put them back in. So my weight being the heaviest, I'll go ahead and put it on the bottom. Then these other ones don't matter so much. See, there's probably room for one more. But this, to me, is the best mobile fishing rig that I've used in many years. And this backpack has probably, you can see where it's ripping. I've had this thing maybe 8 years, maybe pushing 8 years. So this thing has been very good to me. The price tag when I bought it, I was kind of unsure, but I'm telling you, it's worth it if you move a lot. And you've seen how I put the fishing rods on, or how they were on. So let's show you how I do it with this cooler. It fits perfect because you sit it on top. So let's go ahead and close this up. So you see how these hang off? That's what you want. You want it to hang off, right? So then you have your clips on the side. Go ahead and this belongs on the boat, but I'm just using it for this video for the purpose of this backpack. So I want to put this one here. So you kind of open it down here. Now you can either drop, oh, I got this one hooked still, clipped in. You could either drop this under here or let it drop lower. I tend to let it drop down here because there's trees, a lot of trees where I walk through, so I don't want it sticking up super high. But you can do it either way. And you just adjust your straps there. Same thing with the top. Now remember, I told you I have my hook on all the time. So you want to be careful with that hook. Make sure you don't poke yourself because it hurts. All right. Now if you had this higher, this would be up past that point. But either way, just be very careful. Let's get the other rod. Make sure that you're set right. Okay, so it's the exact same thing. And then this one, we'll go ahead and leave it up high, just for the purpose of this video. And now you just clip this one up. So you can see how this works out. Sitting on the cooler that we're using, that we're toting around. So there's one more thing I want to show you that I always bring with me, whether I'm using it or not. So what I have are my rod holders that I made out of 1¼ PVC. pipe that you find at Home Depot. But if someone's throwing away, go ahead and ask if you can have it. 1.25" works out best. 1.5" is probably too big, but that will work too. Also, if it's smaller than that, it doesn't fit all of the tips of the rods, the bottom of the rods. So I normally just grab one of these. I either hook it on here, but sometimes it tends to want to poke me in the swing in the back. So you can hook it onto here. You could hook it onto one of the clips on the sides that I showed you, but again, like right here. But sometimes when you have it hanging low, it'll poke you in the leg. So I find that it's best that if you were to move the zippers over to the center from the top ones, let's see where the zippers are at. Like here. This has a little spot for it. And I just clip it onto here. And it kind of hangs right there, and it's perfect. It doesn't get in the way, doesn't swing back and forth. It might swing side to side, but your fishing rods would stop it. That's what I find best. If that breaks, obviously I'm gonna have to find a new spot or move these up here. So whatever works for you. I can show you the construction of it. Pretty simple. You'll need a clip, PVC pipe, any type of metal. I grabbed some scrap tubing that I had laying around, a couple of bolts. You'll drill 2 holes on the bottom. You don't want to drill too close to the bottom because it becomes very brittle. You want to go up maybe 1/2 inch or so and make your other holes above that, but you don't want it spaced up too high because then you have to get your finger in there. So you can see it's held on by a Teflon nut on the other side, so it screws itself in and it locks itself. And this does not mess with the rod, doesn't hit it. So if you have long boats, you might have to cut them off, but you want short bolts. And I found this stuff. I have a lot of hardware laying around. You might have to go to Home Depot and get what fits you. Now, and the length would vary. It just depends, and you can make these longer. I would say this is the bare minimum. I think these are like 9 inches, I believe, that I cut them at. This piece of tube in here, and then I just hammered a sharp edge so it sticks in the ground. This was the bare minimum. This has pulled 27 pounds or 27 pounder catfish, and it didn't break. So that shows you the integrity of this. But it has kind of bent the PVC a little bit, and you can see it split the bottom, because see how close I have it. It split the bottom of that. It still holds on both of these, still does its job, but just be aware of that. So maybe, you know, put the hose up higher. You just need to make sure you can fit your finger in there and catch that first nut, then use some wrenches to tighten it up. So these, then let me show you this. I drilled a hole here, I drilled a hole there, opposite from each other. So if you can imagine outside to outside. The reason why I did that is so that you can clip these together instead of, you know, carrying one on each one. So you want to clip the bottom here just like that, and then you see this hole, you're going to clip it just like that, and it works out good. So now you can carry 2 with 1 clip. Let me show you how they work when you put them in the ground. So this obviously has to be done on softer ground. Let me just show you one. And my ground, it's rained, so it's super soft right now, but sometimes you have to step on the piece of tubing. So I always angle them to where they're kind of sitting like that number. And let me put a rod in so you can see it. So here's one of the fishing rods. You can see it just slides in there fairly easy. Sticks in the ground. Sometimes you have to step on that, and then if it's anything harder, then it's really not worth putting it in there. But most of the spots where I go, they have some soft ground. It could go on the bank of the lake. It also holds up very well, but you can see it. So when the cats, when they hit, it tends to do that number. and it stays there. And I've had these as long as I've had the backpack, so 8 years, and it's still holding up. So that's, you know, something that you can make. It's very easy, and it can be a simple design like this. You don't have to use the tubing. I just have that from work. You can use anything, that whatever works for you. Try not to zip tie, because those tend to want to bust after a while because of the sun. So boats preferably. And this is super light. I seen some guys using some angle iron and these long 20-inch, 24-inch PVC rods. I mean, that's cool if that works for them. This, like I said, this is my mobile rig, and I sit down, fish. I sit on my cooler. Sometimes I bring a small chair that I can throw over my back on top of the backpack or on top of the cooler, and kind of bungee it, and then just go out and set up some the 2 rods and fish. And if I have a bass rig with me with the rod, extra rod, then, you know, like I said, you can fit, sometimes you can fit 4 rods in that backpack. So it just depends on how thick the actual rod is, but it'll work. So let me show y'all that. Okay, I'm gonna show you how you can fit an extra rod in there on each side. These aren't super thick, so now you have to play with this a little bit. Keep that in mind. So kind of grab this number and stretch it out here, and it has a little give to it. So then you just drop it in. Now you're set up with 4 rods, or this one's set up with 3, but you can put an extra rod on the other side. So, and this stretches, so it would catch both of them. Just be mindful of the hooks that you have in place. So, that number there. Now, that's 3. You can put another one there. But for the purpose of the video, I'll just show you how it looks. We're gonna go ahead and attach our fishing rod holders here. Look, that one popped. So, you see, I mean, I've had this thing for years, so we're probably gonna have to find a new place. I might just take these strings out altogether, and that clip would probably fit right there in between that. And it does. So, let me show y'all. Alright, y'all don't make fun of the way I walk, but I'm gonna show y'all how I get this moving. So grab the bag here. Oh, I forgot to tell you, it has clips on the back as well. I broke mine, so I don't use it, but it has the bottom strap and the middle strap. The middle strap I do use, and I'll show you guys. So, let's make sure you can see it. So the bottom strap would obviously clip here, but mine's not sturdy. Sometimes it pops out because I broke it, slammed it on the truck bed. But that goes there. This goes here. So it's very easy to walk with. So this number here. If we have to climb over rocks, even with ice in there, it's still light enough to carry. Sometimes I have to do this because it's heavy, depends on what I have in there. But even with the ice, I'm able to lift it up. A lot of times I don't even travel with much in there, just enough to keep the fish cold. And that's my setup. So when I get ready to, if I'm setting up somewhere, and I might have a chair here, bungee corded, if I'm getting ready to set up, just unclip this, grab the bag carefully, because you got to remember where the hooks are at, and you set it down, just like that. And then you start unclipping everything in reverse. So I just wanted to show you all my setup. I thought it was cool. I've had this thing for many years, but if you're thinking about how you can make your life easier, and still be on the go, not carrying a lot, I think this is the way to go. Maybe it works out for you. If it does, man, come back and give me a thumbs up. If not, well, good luck, and I hope you find something. And that's just pretty much it. Thanks for watching.